Welcome to Court Helicopter, news where I've just been called from home to come and explain actually what is the position of the law. A lady's video has been all over the media, all social media platforms, all types of bloggers, all types of commentaries about an incident where a lady was captured and her video released to the public. The lady by the name Marion and the man called Opande. That is the explainer that we want to tell you. So many people have talked about it. But what does the law say? The question about the law will start from the Constitution. Article 28 of the Kenyan Constitution talks about human dignity. It says every human being has inherent right of dignity. What does inherent mean? Born with. Nobody gives it to you. Kenya government does not give it to you. It is your right. They are among those rights that nobody can take, like the right to life. That is Article 28. It is inherent. The dignity of a human being can never be compromised. And so the question, did Opande interfere with the constitutional right of the dignity of these human beings? Remember, the police officers who are beating the boys who are playing pool at Eldoret, it was a question of inherent human dignity. The question of corporal punishment has been removed from the statutes as a punishment because it compromises human dignity. The question of being treated as a human being. So, did Opande treat Marion pursuant to Article 28? No. That one, somebody will go to the Constitutional Court and the High Court to sue for compensation as the first step, for compensation for having been treated without dignity. Number two, the second constitutional violation where Marion is likely to go to the High Court is Article 31, the right to privacy. The right to privacy, matters personal, cannot be released to the public unless the person accepts and consents for their personal details to be done. For example, a doctor can never reveal the medical condition of a patient. That is the right to privacy. Personal details held by Safaricom, held by telecom organizations, cannot be released unless there is consent. So the second violation that Opande did is to put into public domain that which is private and which sex and sexual maneuvers are completely private. That is why the two organs, the male organ and the female organ, are called private parts. They are not for the public. They are always covered. The old regime, under when we had what we called the law of the jungle, people were not dressing up because there was no distinction between human beings and animals. When we decided to be human beings, we dress up. Animals don't cover their private parts. And that is the difference that makes a human being somebody with dignity. Those violations, too, if Marion goes to the Constitutional Court for violations, I'm definite she'll be paid more than 50 million shillings for that violation of the Constitution. Number two, what other offenses were created from that issue. We start from number one. She was called to come for date. She was sent fare to use for Uber. Can Opande sue? Yes, Opande can sue her for fare. Courts have pronounced that if you are sent fare for a particular purpose which you don't do, that forms a civil debt. So Opande can sue and probably get 150 shillings or 200 shillings that she paid for fare. He paid for fare. Free. She drank under the authority of Opande. Can Opande sue for recovery of the amount he spent for buying her food? The law does not make that an offense, neither does it make it a civil debt. So he cannot get anything if he sues that he bought her food and he bought her a drink. Why? These are defined as gratuitous gifts. Gifts to a lady cannot be recovered. So that one he does not get. The fourth issue is that he came and allegedly gave her a white substance. If that white substance, the DCI will take forensics of the lady, check the blood samples of the lady. If it was a stupefying ingredient to make her lose her ability to control her faculties so that she cannot be alert on what is right or what is wrong, what normally called mchele. If it is true that Opande gave her a white substance that made her lose her ability to behave morally, Opande will have committed an offense called applying a substance for the purpose of stupefying somebody under the Sexual Offences Act. Opande, if found true to have committed that offense, he'll go in for a duration of not less than 10 years for stupefying. And this is a warning to anybody who wants to spike a drink of a partner or a drink of anybody. It's a serious offense under the Sexual Offences Act. Fifth, after she was stupefied, she was asked for sex with a twosome or threesome. What that means is that they wanted her to agree to go and have sex with several men. And in this case, there were 2 men. She rejected. This is an attempt to commit an offense called a gang rape. Why is it going to be a gang rape? She had been stupefied, and either the amount of the concoction didn't knock her out completely, so the attempt was foiled. If she became completely comatose, she could have been taken to a room and 2 men could have had sex with her without her consent, because the consent was obtained by stupefying her drink. So Opande and the man who was going to have sex together with Marion will all be charged with an attempt to commit a gang rape. So the 2 men are going to be charged, and in that offense, they are likely to go in for 14 years, both of them. The next offense that was committed in this transaction is the touching of the lady Marion in public, her private parts. That is an offense called indecent assault. over a lady. If you touch up a lady, if you touch somebody's private parts, the breasts, her back, her thighs, her whatever that happened, because court helicopter is so decent, it can't bring it there. That is an indecent assault. And if that is proved, Opande is likely to go in for 7 years for having indecently assaulted Marion. Then another offense that was committed is whether Marion came without her underwear. Was that consent? Many people on social media are arguing that she knew what she was coming for. She left her pants at home. She took an Uber. She came. Therefore, she is morally loose, and therefore nobody should be punished when such women behave like that. What is the position of the law? There is no law in this country that compels a woman to put on an underwear. The freedom to choose how you dress, so long as the dressing does not provoke public morality. Her dress was decent unless somebody removes her skirt and comes up with her nakedness that she had no pant on. That is no offense. So anybody trying to defend that the woman was immoral and she came for sex, there is no law compelling women to wear pants. Then the issue that comes out there is the taking of the video. She was taken a video by either Opande or anywhere. Whoever took the video contrary to what the misuse of Cybercrime Act, the Computer and Misuse of Cybercrime Act provides for. What does the Act say? In Section 27, the original section was talking that if you use your gadget in a manner that you publish something that is likely to hurt or depress somebody, it is an offense that you will go in for it's a felony. That law was amended in October this year, and there was a hullabaloo all over. People went to court. People complained that that law is wrong. What was the amendment to that law? The amendment of that law is that if your publication is likely to cause somebody to commit suicide or to be depressed, to lead to a mental breakdown, Marion is likely either she has thought to commit suicide or she is depressed. From the video, she is asking people to pull down because she is completely devastated. Opande will be the first victim to get the amended version of the Cybercrime Act. Section 27 will take him in for 14 years. We'll still move to the usage of the handset. If it is true, the handset, it is the handset that released the photos. And the handset, the DCI will take of Opande to confirm that that is misuse of a computer. And that offense, one will go in for it because it is a felony. If it is somebody who hacked, that, then the offense will be that person who hacked will be arrested and be charged for having or access to Opande's phone without his consent. But will Opande go scot-free? The question, what was the intent of recording a woman her private parts while touching and into the phone. Opande will also be arrested and be charged with the offense of pornography. Pornography does not only deal with children. The law has expanded. Nude photos is now a serious offense. Now, if this is Opande and Marion and the other friend, what about the Kenyans who have taken this video and they are publishing it? They are forwarding to people. You have forwarded that clip. My friend, the DCI, the Cybercrime Act is taking a pool of people who have re-forwarded. It is a crime to re-forward a defamatory statement to another person. That in itself is defamation. You will be sued, so Marion will get lawyers and look for whoever forwarded the clip, and those people will be sued in a civil matter for defamation. 2, is it a crime to send nude videos of somebody? Yes, it is a crime. You are not supposed to resend what is already an illegality. So those ones who have been resending the videos, those ones who are posting them on their social media, those ones who are happily doing it, you are committing an offense. And that offense is an offense defined as a misdemeanor. You are likely to be jailed within at least not more than 3 years. So that is the position of the law. Any argument about justification does not have any basis of the law. So you know now what it is. Those trying to defend the position of Opande, that he is a man that is not known for law. The law as it is. Okay, Dunstan Omari has brought you here to bring you to that. The only liability Marion is likely to face is a refund of the fare of Uber from where she came to that place. But Opande and the guy they were with are facing a problem. The last offense, was this a planned thing? Did Opande and the man who was seated next to Marion plan this thing? It was not a spontaneous issue. This was planned because Opande is requesting for a twosome, that is sex, 2 men having sex with one man. It was planned. And if it was planned, then it failed, they will be arrested and be charged for a conspiracy to commit a felony. That they conspired, the 2 men planned that they will come, administer an intoxication, and that intoxication is going to get them a twosome sexual intercourse. Will the DPP extend these charges and say the type of sex they were going to do is not natural? We know very well in the penal code, unnatural sex with animals, with any other thing, you will go in. It's a felony. If the twosome, these are adults having sex, is it natural? This is a test case. The ODPP should charge on that offense so that it is challenged in court. Can a woman have 2 men having sex together at the same time, in the same bed, in the same room, one after another, one after? Is that natural? That needs to be tested so that it is either criminalized or it is made into law. Can an adult who decides with another adult to have sex, two men, it is homosexuality, it's an offense. Can a woman and three men who by consent are doing what the law does not imagine, is that offense of two men, twosome, threesome, foursome, against the rules of natural justice? The basis of the law is that a woman is complete opposite of the man for the purpose of sex. Can a woman and two free men decide to create what is not natural? It is hot. It is going to be a topical question, but it needs to go to court so that the courts will have to interpret whether twosome or threesome is similar to having sex with a natural way of doing it. This one has explained to you what the law is all about. Forget what you think, follow court helicopter, because it will always tell you the position of the law. Many people are arguing that she gave consent to be touched. When is consent consent? We have consent, strict liability that a child below 18 years cannot give consent to sex. 2, consent of somebody under the influence. Is she knowing what she's consenting? It will be gauged on if the two of them were drunk to the level that they both didn't understand what was happening. Then that defense will assist Opande. It is clear she was completely drunk. And it was not drunkenness that was not induced. It was drunkenness that was planned to be like that. Therefore, there is no consent that she gave. Remember, the offense of consent in rape, how does the law say? A woman can consent, you go and start sex. Midway, she tells you stop. Then you say, I cannot stop. You came all the way from Mombasa. We have been doing it. This is third round that we are doing this. I cannot stop. That is rape. Like it or not, at the time you are told stop, it does not matter whether that is the time of the climax. The law says consent has been withdrawn. You have got to stop. Consent obtained by undue influence, by threats, by intimidation, by coercion, that is no consent. So consent obtained by undue influence of alcohol is no defense against the offense of rape. And that's why I said the intention was very clear, that they did not want her to make an independent decision because they knew she would not agree. And therefore, that is why a portion was administered. Similar administration of a love portion. We don't know what was administered. Was it a love portion? Any concoction for the purpose of incapacitating the mind of an adult, that is a conspiracy to attempt to, remember, offenses are those ones that are complete, and there are offenses that you attempt. If they didn't gang rape her, they attempted. You now know. Wakili Omari, telling it as it is. The nudity, the question of nudity has now become a serious issue that Parliament needs to discuss. Up to what level nudity is going to be allowed just because these are two adults? What about intoxication? Is there any argument about the level of drinking? If it was clear that Marion didn't take any stupefying content, it was about drinking. Anybody who takes advantage of another because of her being drunk is an offense. If you know your girlfriend cannot sustain one beer, so you give her 4, then you have an intent. And that intent is what the law talks about, the mens rea. Did Opande and his colleague have that criminal mind before? Yes, because that is like murder. You plan what you are going to do for this lady. It was not drinking. Remember, Opande kept himself off until either the friend signaled that the lady now is looking tipsy. Come. You got it. It is now clear. Wakili Dance and Omari always telling you the way it is. See you on Monday as we proceed with our episodes.